Distractions are the silent killers of progress. They don't show up with warning signs. They sneak in disguised as harmless habits, meaningless entertainment, endless scrolling, and fake urgency. And little by little, they eat away at your time, your energy, your focus, until one day you wake up and realize how far you've drifted from the purpose you were meant to fulfill. That's how distractions work. They don't knock you down in one blow. They chip away at your discipline until your momentum is gone, your passion fades, and your vision starts to shrink. Every time you give into a distraction, you trade progress for comfort. You trade growth for temporary pleasure. And the worst part is, most people don't even notice it's happening until it's too late. They think a few wasted minutes won't matter. They believe small distractions are harmless. But what they don't see is how those small distractions stack up over time, turning into days, weeks, even years of lost opportunity. The delay in progress isn't caused by one massive failure. It's caused by 1,000 little distractions stealing your focus, one small compromise at a time. Distractions don't just waste time, they pull you away from your purpose. They blur your vision. They make you forget why you started in the first place. They turn your sharp, clear mission into a vague idea you barely recognize. The more you give in to distractions, the further you drift from the life you're meant to build. And with every moment lost, the harder it becomes to regain the fire you once had, because distractions aren't just about wasted minutes. They're about wasted momentum, wasted energy, and wasted potential. Staying focused in a world full of distractions isn't easy, but it's the difference between success and regret. Distractions are everywhere, flashing on your phone, popping up on your screen, disguised as gossip, negativity, comfort zones, and things that feel urgent but aren't important. And every time you take the bait, you delay your own progress, you slow your own growth, you sabotage your own future, not because you aren't capable, but because you allowed yourself to be pulled away from your mission. Progress demands discipline. It demands attention. It demands that you guard your focus like your life depends on it, because your legacy does. You can't afford to give your time, your energy, or your mind to anything that doesn't move you forward. Distractions don't deserve your attention. They don't deserve your energy. They don't deserve even a second of your focus, because every second spent on them is a second stolen from your progress. And progress, once lost, is not easily regained. The most dangerous thing about distractions is how normal they seem. They convince you it's okay to check out just for a minute. They whisper that it's fine to skip the work just this once. But behind every excuse is a choice to move closer to your goals or further away. The people who succeed are the ones who understand this truth and refuse to let distractions control their life. They know that every time they stay focused, they're gaining ground. Every time they resist distraction, they're building strength. Every time they lock in on their purpose, they're stepping into the future they want. Distractions don't just delay progress, they destroy it. They create habits of procrastination, habits of hesitation, habits of mediocrity. And once those habits are built, they're hard to break. That's why protecting your focus isn't a suggestion, it's a requirement. You either control your attention or the world will control it for you. You either fight for your progress or watch it slip through your fingers. You either stay committed to your purpose or lose it in the noise of meaningless distractions. Your future is built by what you focus on today. The legacy you want is on the other side of every distraction you refuse to entertain. It's waiting for you to decide that your purpose is bigger than your excuses, bigger than your comfort, bigger than your need for temporary pleasure. When you choose focus over distraction, you choose progress, you choose strength, you choose momentum, and you choose a life of meaning over a life of regret. Nothing kills progress faster than a distracted mind. Nothing destroys purpose quicker than divided attention. And nothing delays success more than wasted time on things that don't matter. If you want to win, if you want to grow, if you want to build something that lasts, you have to decide every single day that distractions won't have a place in your life. You have to fight for your focus like it's the most valuable asset you have. Because it is. Every minute matters. Every choice counts, and the more you protect your focus, the faster you'll move, the stronger you'll get, and the closer you'll come to building the legacy you're meant to leave behind. Don't let distractions steal your future. Stay locked in. Stay disciplined. And stay focused on what truly matters. That's how progress is made. That's how purpose is fulfilled. That's how legacies are built. A legacy isn't built in a single day, a single decision, or a single achievement. It's built in the countless daily actions that seem small in the moment, but stack up over time to create something powerful, something lasting. Every action you take is a brick laid in the foundation of your legacy. Every choice, every habit, every decision matters. Whether you realize it or not, you're building your future with what you do today, not someday, not when it feels right, but right now with the actions you choose in this moment. It's easy to believe that legacy is shaped by massive wins, big moments, and breakthrough achievements. But those are just the highlights. The truth is, the real work happens in the grind, in the ordinary, unglamorous daily actions that most people overlook. It's in the consistency of showing up, doing the work, and staying disciplined even when no one's watching. That's where legacies are born. Because while everyone else is waiting for the perfect opportunity or the big break, the people who build something that lasts are laying brick after brick through relentless daily effort. What you do consistently shapes who you become, and who you become determines the legacy you leave behind. The person who chooses discipline over distraction, action over excuses, and growth over comfort is the person who builds a life of meaning. It's not about having some grand, flawless plan. It's about making the right choices day after day, even when they seem small, even when they feel repetitive, even when no one notices. Because success isn't about one big action. It's about hundreds, even thousands of small actions aligned with a clear purpose, stacked over time until they create unstoppable momentum. When you treat every day as an opportunity to lay a brick in your legacy, you stop wasting time on meaningless things, you stop living on autopilot, you stop making excuses. You start taking responsibility for every action because you realize that your legacy is being built with or without your permission. Every time you choose to give your best effort, you lay a brick. Every time you choose discipline over laziness, you lay a brick. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you lay a brick. And those bricks add up. They build the foundation that your future stands on. Too many people wait for the big moment to show up in life, thinking that their legacy will be defined by some future event. But big moments are nothing without the preparation that comes from daily discipline. You don't rise in the big moments if you haven't put in the work every single day when no one was watching. You don't become great when it's convenient. You become great in the quiet moments of consistency, of action, of relentless pursuit of your purpose. When no one's clapping, when no one's validating you, when it's just you and the work, every action is a choice to either move closer to your legacy or drift further from it. There's no neutral ground. You're either building or you're breaking. You're either stacking bricks or tearing them down with excuses, laziness, or distraction. The people who build a lasting impact understand that the only way to win is to stay consistent, to commit fully, and to show up day after day with focus and discipline. They don't leave their future to chance. They build it with intention, one action at a time. The beauty of this truth is that it puts the power in your hands. You don't have to wait for anyone to give you permission. You don't have to wait for ideal conditions. You don't have to wait until you feel ready. You can start building your legacy right now by making the right choices today. You can choose to act with purpose. You can choose to show up with discipline. You can choose to do the hard things now that most people avoid. And over time, those choices will compound into a future most people never reach. Your legacy isn't something you'll stumble upon later. It's something you create daily with your actions, your habits, your focus, and your commitment. It's built in the small decisions that feel insignificant in the moment, but define everything in the long run. Every brick matters. Every action counts. Every choice builds on the last. And when you treat your life like a legacy in the making, when you wake up every day knowing that your actions are laying the groundwork for something greater, you move different, you think different, you live different. You stop chasing quick wins and start chasing meaningful progress. You stop wasting time on distractions and start investing time in what matters. You stop letting fear control you and start letting discipline drive you. And as those daily actions stack up, you'll look back and realize that the legacy you wanted wasn't built in one defining moment. It was built in thousands of daily decisions you refused to compromise on. That's how lasting impact is made. That's how true success is built. That's how legacies are created, brick by brick, choice by choice, action by action. The power to say no is one of the most critical weapons in staying focused and building something meaningful. The world will constantly pull at your attention, your energy, and your time. Every day you'll be presented with distractions disguised as opportunities, invitations that seem harmless, tasks that feel urgent but aren't important, and countless demands that have nothing to do with your mission. If you say yes to everything, you'll end up standing for nothing. you'll scatter your focus, dilute your energy, and slowly lose grip on the very goals you set out to achieve. Saying no isn't about being difficult or shutting the world out. It's about guarding your vision with a level of intensity that most people aren't willing to commit to. It's about understanding that your focus is limited, your energy is finite, and your time is non-renewable. You can't afford to waste any of them on things that don't move you forward. Every yes you give is a no to something else, and if you're not careful, you'll end up saying no to your own goals while saying yes to the world's distractions. The ability to say no comes from clarity of purpose. When you know exactly what you're building, you stop chasing everything that glitters. You stop falling for every shiny object. You stop saying yes out of fear of missing out. You understand that real success requires sacrifice, and often that sacrifice is saying no to the good so you can say yes to the great. It's about knowing that not every invitation deserves your attention, not every opportunity aligns with your mission, and not every request is worth your energy. People who build legacies are ruthless with their focus. They understand that saying yes to every demand would drain them before ever reach their goal. They choose wisely. They protect their time like it's gold because they know that it is. They say no not because they're arrogant, but because they're serious. They say no not to shut doors, but to protect the right ones. They value their mission so much that they refuse to allow distractions, even when they come wrapped in the disguise of good things. Saying no also builds strength. Every time you say no to a distraction, you reinforce your commitment. Every time you reject something that doesn't align with your focus, you gain power over your impulses. You build a mindset that isn't swayed by outside pressure or short-term gratification. You train yourself to think long-term. You become sharper, stronger, and more in control of your decisions. And over time, that habit of disciplined refusal turns into a force that makes you unstoppable. The world respects those who have the courage to say no. People may not like it at first, but they'll learn to respect your boundaries. They'll see that you're serious about your mission, about your time, and about your vision. Saying no sets a standard